Hey everyone, Sharkheart here, and in this video I want to talk to you about something that Genshin players should pay attention to, especially those based in the US. Bill 686, or the Restrict Act, seeks to ban foreign apps that may be a threat to national security or the privacy of US citizens. And while this bill is primarily designed to combat things like TikTok or WeChat, someone recently brought it to my attention that it could ban Genshin as well. So I did some research about the bill, and I want to tell you about the chances that Genshin or other apps getting banned are. So how likely will this bill affect mobile games like Genshin Impact and Tower of Fantasy? Well, let's answer that second part first, as it's unlikely to affect less popular mobile apps and games, because in order to be banned, these apps and games need to be associated with a foreign adversary, which the bill defines as China, Russia, North Korea, and Venezuela, be reviewed by the Secretary of Commerce, pose an undue or unacceptable risk to national security or US persons, and have greater than 1 million users at any one time during a year when these apps are reviewed. If that sounds incredibly general, it is, and I'm sure that's by design. In fact, it affects more than just apps. It affects anything that it defines as information or communication technology from a foreign adversary, which could be just about anything if you think about it. And based on these definitions, Genshin Impact could definitely be banned in the United States because it definitely has over 1 million users at any given time throughout a year. It is associated with China, and all the collected user data might produce an undue risk to the players. But even though it fits the bill, what are the chances that Genshin actually gets banned in the United States? Well, I don't think they're very high, at least for right now. While this is one of the few pieces of legislation that both parties actually came together and agreed on, the real reason behind this bill is so that it would be legal to ban apps specifically from companies affiliated with or associated with these foreign adversaries that actually pose a real threat to either safety or security for US citizens and the government at large. This is also not really going to be a quick process, as the Secretary of Commerce needs to review these apps and all relevant information about them, and then submit their findings to the President. Once the President has reviewed all the information, they will determine if the app warrants a ban, and then there's still a big legal process that would ensue afterwards. So this process seems to be quite a long and tedious one. And right now it seems the focus of this bill is on TikTok and WeChat. But if it is used to ban games, we'll probably get wind of it long before the ban ever comes. But I do find the very general language and the wide-reaching scope of this bill to be disconcerting. Now, this whole thing may seem totally crazy, but apps like TikTok actually do pose a security concern. While it is not codified into law, it is already the policy for apps like TikTok to be banned from devices belonging to high-ranking military personnel and government intelligence employees in the United States. The concern is that apps like TikTok are a threat because of how much user data they collect and the close ties they have with the CCP. It's also not limited to apps. In fact, certain devices made by popular Chinese manufacturers are also banned in the US military and intelligence sectors because they have what is essentially spyware chips soldered into the circuitry of those devices. The concern isn't that it's just really creepy to spy on people. I mean, the US has the Patriot Act, and that is a whole terrible can of worms, but that the data collected by these apps will somehow be funneled into what the bill defines as foreign adversaries, and then any bad actors can use this data and weaponize it, either in the form of something that is a national security risk or to sow discord among the people. And this may seem like a big stretch, especially for private companies, but there's basically an unwritten rule that any private company in China can become an arm of the government if the CCP wishes it so. And I know this sounds like a totally unhinged conspiracy, and I expect a fleet of angry bots to leave a bunch of nasty comments in broken English or just dislike this video into oblivion, but this type of thing isn't new. There's been tons of high-level espionage attacks like Stuxnet, but also tons of socially engineered attacks like Russian trolls sowing political discord through Facebook, Twitter, and other social media during US election periods. Just to be clear, I don't want anyone running to get their tinfoil hats. This bill isn't even a law yet, and even if it does become a law, I think Genshin is safe because Genshin does not collect nearly the amounts of data that TikTok does. At least that's just what I've heard, so I think we're safe, friends. But as always, if there is anything that's really important or anything that changes, I'll be here to cover it for you, and in the meantime, I'll give you a bunch of Genshin guides and codes for some free Primo gems. So make sure you're subbed for those videos, and remember, I love you, stay jawsome, have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.